Hi, konnichiwa, Miko desu. Okay, so I actually got one question, and I actually found that it was a pretty good question, and I think a lot of people do ask this. So I got a question from OS, or OSU, and he asked me, why are popular Western shows, they're usually from, the Western area, why are they shown in Japan, or how did it become this way? Why is it not exclusively, Japanese culture or something like that? And, and I thought about this, and I thought it would actually be best to do some research on this, and I did do a little bit, and this is what I found, and it's quite interesting. First you have to understand that, Japan also exports their own entertainment. For example, anime is a big, gigantic market, not just in the US, but also in France, and all throughout Asia. Japan is profiting a lot by anime, and how much? $18.5 billion just by exporting anime out to the world. Okay, so, of course, if Japan is going to be exchanging something, the word is exchange, someone is going to want to, give them something to Japan and try to make a profit too. And the other thing is that America, the US, their Hollywood movies, or, entertainment that's based in Southern California is big. Is dominative all over the world. It's the biggest entertainment industry, no duh, and it always aims we are constantly producing movies and entertainment, and it's aimed at an international audience. We want the people from all around the world to watch our entertainment. Now, just because it was made in the US doesn't mean it's exclusively American. For example, Sony Pictures, Sony is Japanese, and Universal Studios used to be owned by Matsushita. So it's not anymore, but before it used to be owned by a Japanese company. So that's one thing right there. Even so, if you take another country, let's say like India, you have a country like India, and they make a lot of movies. It's called Bollywood. So, they make even more movies than the US does in a year, but how come you don't see those movies going out internationally and, making big hits or anything like that? It's because the Indian market is aimed at more of a domestic audience, not an international audience, for example. And their goal is to make money within their own country, not to entertain those with other cultures and morals and all that other stuff like that. So then there's another thing is that, in Europe, people are taking in these American movies, this American entertainment, but at the same time they're worried about becoming Americanized, or they're worried about losing their own cultural identity. So, but the thing is that Japan, the Japanese, they aren't so concerned about this. They don't really care as much. Not to say that there aren't any people that don't care, but overall, in a majority, especially the younger generation, they're not so concerned with losing a Japanese identity. So, and to give another example of why, is because if you look at Japan today, if you ever have you ever been to Shibuya, you can see Shibuya, or ever seen a picture of it at least. What does Shibuya remind you of? Doesn't it remind you of New York a little bit? And also, there's even more, even beyond, back in history, if you think about Japan trying to improve itself For example, they took instead of making their own writing, they took Chinese characters and put it to their own use. They also took Confucianism and Buddhism, and they combined it with their own home religion, like Shintoism, and they combined those together. And so Japan has always, ever since their beginning of their own history, have been grabbing different cultures from different countries and melding them and mushing them all into one thing. So naturally, they're not scared of becoming Americanized. They're more open and accepting of it. Okay, let's see, what else they have is another big thing is that American entertainment industry, while they're making their movies and all that other stuff, what kind of equipment do they use? Of course they use Sony, Toshiba, Fujitsu, all of those Japanese brands. So they're using these Japanese brands and these Japanese technologies and electronics to make their own movies better. And so they're paying Japan to do this, Japan to use their brands and electronics, and in return America will send over their entertainment over to Japan. And their entertainment is actually America's entertainment is actually very entertaining, like it's supposed to be, so it's catching on very well. So also in Japan, if you might notice, there's a lot of, for example, SoftBank. SoftBank's celebrity sponsor is Cameron Diaz, and almost any time when there's a Hollywood star in being a sponsor for a Japanese product, it's a big hit for them. Though recently, for some reason, this has been decreasing, and instead of using Hollywood stars, they've been using Korean stars. So to answer Osu's question, he said he saw Hannah Montana on the TV. Well, it's the same reasons that I said before, is because Japan is just into this thing, and there's this big exchange going on, and I don't have to repeat it all over again, but that's how it's going. So I hope I answered your question, and if anyone else has any other questions, please ask away. I'm open to any questions as long as it's pertaining to Japan. Or if you want to ask me a question, I'll try to answer that, like about myself, then I'll try to answer that too. Be on the lookout for other forms of instructions, such as how to use some Japanese websites, how to watch Japanese streaming television on your computer, and how to find Japanese hairstyles and show them to your stylist, and so much other things like that. And I'll try not to upload too much too quickly. I've been having a lot of free time recently, but I'm trying to contain myself. Okay, so that's all, and I'll see you later. Bye.